Hello everyone and welcome back to Football Manager 2020 and a new episode at a new club. At the end of last season we had just won the treble on an invincible season in every competition and an unbeaten run stretching back about 15-16 months. It was an absolutely fantastic way to end our time at Ajax, and as you can see, we have taken another job. At the end of last episode, we applied for the Manchester United and Barcelona jobs. Barcelona came in with an offer first, and it was probably the one that I really wanted. I can't remember ever managing Barcelona in Football Manager, which sounds crazy, but I just can't remember ever doing it. So I'm actually really excited to take over, mostly because we have at Barcelona probably the best false nine of all time. When you look at the squad, we do have Lionel Messi available. When you go to the striker position, he can play that false nine role, and his stats are off the charts in that position. 20 for just about everything. He is going to be world class, the best in the world in the tactic that we play. When you look at the tactic here, Griezmann and Messi up front is going to be wonderful. Fati on the left as well, with Dembele out on the right. Dembele the perfect winger for that role. Puig and Aouar, I think I'd probably look to change this up a little bit. Puig looks alright, but I think we're probably going to want to bring someone else in there. Then Alba, Titi, PK, Emerson. PK, very old. And if you look at the squad of Barcelona, there's a lot of players who are in their late 30s. So PK, Messi, Busquets, Alba, Neto, Azpilicueta, Griezmann, Roberto, and Ter Stegen, all over 30. And then below that you've got a few players in their late 20s as well, and very little youth in the squad. Certainly very little youth that's actually going to go on to become world class. So we've got a bit of work to do in terms of actually overhauling this squad. But I think we can let quite a few players leave. If you look at the transfer budget as well, we've got £154 million to spend and £500,000 a week in wages available. I can see us going in for a few key players, perhaps the likes of Barrow in midfield. I mean, there are so many great players in that Ajax team that we really could go for just about any of them. So it's going to be a little bit about figuring out where the gaps are in the squad. If we just have a look at the team report and the squad depth, you'll see that up front I think we're okay. Messi and Griezmann will be the key starters. I think Depay can play up there as well. Down the left and on the wings we're probably alright. We've got enough players who can play in those positions quite comfortably. Midfield, I think we're probably going to need to bring in one or two players who can play at that level. You don't want Lionel Messi appearing on that list in central midfield. And in defence, we're probably okay for the most part. Might want to bring in a right back, perhaps Dest could come in there. And then goalie is fine. Ter Stegen will be good for a few years. I'm not sure how long I'm going to want to stay at Barcelona. I think it depends on how successful we are in the league, because you'll see Real Madrid have won the latest title by 5 points. It's one of those leagues you have to get over 100 points to win the league, so that will need to be the goal. But I think with the team and the finances we've got, it's something we can certainly do. So looking ahead, or just looking back at the season actually, Barcelona dumped out by Liverpool at the semi-final stage. They are a team that had a good late run, but there's probably a lot of improvements to be made. Previous years knocked out in the quarterfinals by PSG, so they're just not having a good time. But Messi hasn't won a Champions League in some time, so we are going to have to try and overcome that challenge and win a Champions League title as we did with Ajax. So in pre-season we are going to look to just overhaul the squad, really get some of the high wage players out the door. Messi and Griezmann will stay, but then we've got a lot of players on 250k. I mean, Busquets is on 250k and he's 33 years old. I'm not sure how long that contract runs for, but that is a huge amount of money. When's his contract end? 2023, so he's on for another year. So there are players who can definitely leave if we can get them out the door. So a little bit of overhaul to do. I'm quite excited by this project. It's a great time to come in and try and overhaul the Barcelona team. We do still have Messi there, so we can build a team around him and get him back to his best. But we are going to just go forward now, probably to the start of the season. If we go back to that schedule, I'm not sure when the season kicks off in Spain at the moment, but when we get to that first game of the season, we will pick up there and I'll take you through all the transfers that we've made. Well, we are now at the first match of the La Liga season, or probably just La Liga, given the last stands for the. And I have to say, it's been a really frustrating summer. I often forget when you take on these big clubs, a real challenge, despite that big transfer budget, is the fact that it costs over £100 million to sign even the most mediocre of players. And they all want 350k a week as well. So I've done what I can this season to bring in a few key players. The main one, obviously, is Romario Baró, our former Ajax player. He is exactly what this team needs. The team isn't too bad in most positions. It's not great in every position, but it's got solid players, at least a couple of solid players for every position on the pitch, except in midfield where there's a real lack of talent beyond Aouar. So I've brought in Romario Baró to fill that hole in the centre. We know how good a player is. He's going to be fantastic for the team. I've also found an absolute amazing player, Gilberto Severo, who is a complete false nine, excellent stats across the board and a very good record over in Brazil, where he was scoring a decent rate of goals for a false nine. So I'm hoping that he can be a real addition to the side. I think this guy was brought in before I started, and he's also gone out again. I think I'm not really sure what's going on there. But quite a few players going out. Neto was sold to Leicester for £20 million. I don't think we needed him as a backup goalkeeper. He had a big salary. Same for Cesar Azpilicueta, who's on 250k a week. I think we've got enough right backs, so we don't need Cesar in there as well. Araujo, just a academy graduate central defender. I let him go quite cheap. And Jordi Alba, because he was on 200k a week, I think, so he's gone out at left back as well, because we've got players who can play there. So not a lot of change really in the side. If you look at the squad, I still feel like it's a bit bloated, but there are a couple of players, the likes of Gerard Piqué, who won't really play, but if I were to sell him, it would unsettle the team chemistry. There's also Sergio Busquets, who I could sell, probably get 20 million for him, get 250k a week off the wage budget. But, you know, he can fulfill some roles. He can be a rotation player in and out, and then I can let him go at the end of the season. So there's no need to force those players out. And as you know, as you can see, there's a lot of decent players, a few average players in a few positions. But this is definitely going to be a 2 or 3 season job because of the difficulty in signing players. We do have a bit of money left, so we've got 70 million, 300k a week available. I'm going to save that because sometimes some players can become unsettled and you can get some absolute bargains and bring them into the team. I think today the real problem is that a lot of players are unregistered or unavailable because they played in another match. So especially the two left backs of Matvienko and Cucurella, both unavailable, which means Titi has been moved out there to fill the gap, but Todibo does get to come in the centre alongside Skriniar, so central defence is okay. Wague on the right is a decent player. I've given him a new contract. Stegen and goal is pretty solid. It's only really Titi that I'm not overly happy with. And then you have Baró and Aouar in the centre. I might do it that way around actually. And then Dembele and Griezmann on the wings. I think Griezmann's going to be very useful out on that left flank cutting inside, but obviously he can play up forward as well when other players come back. And then Severo will make his debut alongside Lionel Messi up front. So we're going to be hoping that Messi can carry the team a little bit in that false nine role and really do a good job for us. I might swap them around at half time and put Severo in his favoured false nine position with Messi in the advanced forward role as well. But I am expecting us to get the win today. This tactic is fantastic. I think it suits the players we've got. And hopefully we can get off to a winning start. As Titi has a long throw into the box. Messi is in there. He's not the tallest of players, of course. But Rosic here with the ball for Leganés. You're going to have to excuse my Spanish pronunciation. I speak zero Spanish. Griezmann plays the ball over to Baró, trying to see what he can do for Barcelona. He skips one challenge, he goes for goal, and he was not far away. Obviously, we know he can score a lot of good goals from just outside the area, and he's going to be such a key player for us this season. Aouar finds Baró, Griezmann down, Messi arriving, and Lionel Messi does what he does. It's 1-0, and of course it was going to be Messi who gets us off the mark as Barcelona manager. Now we need to get at least 32 wins this season, I think. So that means we can afford to drop points in 6 matches all season. So this really is going to have to be a perfect run at the season. But of course, I haven't lost a match as a manager in nearly 2 full years, including pre-season. So we have a good record to lean on. As that ball goes in, it's cleared away, but Barrow's out there. Now Aouar. He goes for goal, but straight into the keeper's arms. I'm looking forward to the first El Clasico as well against Real Madrid. That's going to be really interesting. Ball in from Griezmann, Todibo over the top, not quite able to get the header on target, but the team seems to be reacting quite well to this tactic. They're getting a good number of shots, not quite as many on target as I might like, so I'm going to tell them to get creative. And we've got a highlight immediately after doing that, and here's Skriniar out wide to Wague. He's tackled and it's found its way to Severo, who holds the ball up and then loses it, but he's managed to get it back, and then he's brought down, and I think that's going to be a penalty. That looked like it was inside the box. We have a nice long VAR wait as the referee runs over to the side screen. Only half an hour gone. I imagine it'll be Lionel Messi to take the penalty if it's given. Could be a free kick. What's he saying? Free kick, not a penalty. So that was a really big waste of time, and the referee is going to take all of his time to come over and give somebody a yellow card, I imagine. And yeah, he's in the book, Siovas, and so he will have the free kick. It'll be Messi to take it. He could go for goal here. Instead he puts it in, and Barrow over the bar, not quite able to make that one work. But no shots yet from Leganés. They don't really have the capacity to challenge a team as good as ours. As Griezmann puts a corner in, and there it is, Skriniar with the header. A very good goal to make it 2-0. And we should be comfortably getting our first win as Barcelona manager. Skriniar there with the header at the near post. There was a man on the line, but he wasn't looking at the ball, which is a pretty basic mistake to be making. And we are 2-0 up. Now here's Silva. Tackled by Dembele, doing a good job. Now Severo, he's charging forward, he's got players with him, but he's doing it himself, Severo, and it's not quite got the finish at the end of it. That was a fantastic run from him, showing what he can do. I'm going to swap him and Messi around for the second half and see if it works a little bit more clinically with them switching positions. But I am very happy with the 2-0 lead at half-time. So can Messi do the job in the advanced forward role with Severo in his natural false 9 position? Here's Ruben Perez. Worked forward by Leganés. Good tackle. Now Severo on the attack. He goes for goal and it's just wide. I feel like he's going to be a really, really good player. And Atletico Madrid are a goal down to Villarreal. That could be dangerous for them already. Now 2-0 down. Not getting any better for them. If we just look to make a little change or two, we can maybe take Antoine Griezmann off and put Pedri on. I might also like to take Todibo off, except we don't have no defenders available, so that won't happen. Maybe take Barrow off, and we can give Reece a little bit of a run out. Had bids come in for Reece over the summer that I rejected. They were trying to sign him for 20 million. He's worth 40 at least, so he was going nowhere. We still need some rotation players in midfield. It can't be Barrow and Aouar every game, but we need to make sure they're available for the big matches as they happen. And here's Ivan back to the defender, just being worked around so slowly by this Leganés team, and Dembele has stolen the ball. You can see we've got the hunger that they haven't, and Ousmane Dembele gets his first goal of the season. A very good goal where he won the ball and then charged forward and finished it past the keeper. A very good goal from him there, stealing the ball, charging forward past the defender, and then hitting it so hard that Rosic, it was a tame save by him, but so hard it couldn't be stopped. 3-0 now we lead in this game, and I can imagine this being a fantastic season for us as Wague does get a knock. I'll just let this play out before we make that change. Titi on the run, takes it to the byline. As a centre-back, I wasn't expecting him to make many runs like that. It didn't quite work out, but here's Wague, forward to Aouar, out wide, cleared but not properly, only as far as Reece. He plays it across. Aouar could have a shot. He goes out to Wague instead. He tries to put it in but can't do it. Dembele back to Wague. Ball goes in this time, cleared away. Titi bringing it forward, plays it over to Dembele. Brings it down, rides a tackle, Rabona's it in, and it's cleared away again, but only as far as Dembele once more. Now Reece to Pedri, and he finds the top corner. Pedri, a very good goal from him there, into the top corner. Clearly not his first for the club, We do need to take Wague off, really. And I think it doesn't matter that we're playing a non-defender in that position, because we are struggling with defenders at the moment. So we don't want to have a player with an injury out there. Messi with the ball in, Todibo arriving, but it's gone over the top. But a 4-0 win in your first game as Barcelona manager at home, you can't ask for much more than that. Messi on the score sheet as well, 41 efforts on goal, and they didn't even have a shot. So we are very happy, given that we didn't even have our best defence out there, as we get a very big win to kick things off. Now the next match is against Celta Vigo. Then you have the Super Cup semi-final, which used to happen at the start of the season. It's been moved right the way back. Obviously, we have the World Cup this season as well through the winter break, so that's something to look ahead to. But we do have a Real Madrid match in not too long, so I'm going to play the Celta Vigo game again, because that's our first away match. We'll see how we get on to finish off this episode. That'll also allow us to see if there have been any other transfers, and then we will, in the next episode, take on Real Madrid and play our first Champions League group stage match. Of course, we could be drawn against Ajax, which would be fascinating if that happens. So let's go ahead to the Vigo game and see if we can bring anybody in ahead of that match. Well, there are no further transfers at this point. There are a couple of players that I am tempted to bring in. We do have one bid in at the moment for Mateus Henrique, who is a Brazilian player, currently at Gramao. He's valued at 13.25 million, but he looks like a fantastic advanced playmaker, box-to-box midfielder. He's got all the stats. He's 24. When you look at his career stats, worth an awful lot. I think the current transfer offer for him, just 16.75 million in cash, seems like an absolute steal for at least a very good rotation option in the centre. So I think that he's going to be a really good player to bring in and just strengthen the team a little bit. But as you can see, we've got everybody back today. All those players who were unregistered or unavailable are now available. Some players still unregistered. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with the La Liga registration system, but we'll have to figure it out before the registration window does close. But for today, we're going to have Griezmann and Messi actually start up front, which is where I think they should be. Depay out on the left wing, and I'm expecting him to really show his £59 million value and actually put in a good shift. He had a good record in previous seasons, so I'm expecting him to do something similar in his favoured position. Dembele out on the right as well, I think is going to develop into a world-class player. He's not quite hit that potential yet, but I think he will. Aouar and Barrow in the centre. And then it's Matvienko, Umtiti, Skimriar and Roberto in defence, with Ter Stegen in goal. This is a better team than we had out in the last match, so I am expecting us to get a good win against Celta Vigo. They don't have too many great players in their side. We are by far the better team. So we're going to get the team to pick up where they left off last time and hopefully get an away win in our first away match as Barcelona manager. Pretty slow start. We're not controlling the possession. We're not getting the shots in the way. But Hugo Marlow here sends it forward to Edu, who's not got match fitness, so he could be a weak link for them. Ball goes out to Sergio Roberto. Now into Barrow. He can slip it through. He goes for goal, and it's straight at Herrera in between the sticks. Not the best effort there from the team. But at the moment, Celta Vigo teams seem to be struggling. Memphis Depay with the corner. Skimriar's in there, but he can't make it. 2-2 for him. Just missing it. Matvienko has picked up a knock, so we'll take him off in a minute. Memphis Depay with a free kick though. Aouar is in there. It's cleared away. Dembele. Back to Umtiti. Dembele again on the opposite flank. Puts it across. It's cleared away, but Barrow, man out on the right flank if you can pick him out. Instead, he pulls it back across to Dembele, who hits the stanchion of the goal there with a very good volleyed effort. We could just bring Longley straight in at the left back position here. He is more of a centre back, but he can play out in that role if needed. Now Messi on the ball has given it away, and Beltran charging in, pulls it back to Emre Moore, played across, and Ter Stegen showing the value of having a very good goalkeeper by fixing Messi's mistake. But Messi now tees up Dembele on the run, out to Memphis Depay. He likes to have a shot from there, but he's forced to go back to Umtiti. All the way back to Ter Stegen, who is going to get there. I was a little bit worried then. He then lumps it over the top for Barrow, over the top for Griezmann. Route 1 football from Barcelona, and it has given us the lead. Antoine Griezmann with the finish. Certainly the best advanced forward, out and out advanced forward that I will ever have managed in my time with so many good strikers. But Barrow here with the ball over the top, good run from Griezmann, good first touch, and a nice finish past the keeper for 1-0. I'm expecting him to get a lot of goals in this team this season with the formation that we play and the tactic we play. That role should be a 40-goal a season position, and I think Skriniar has just gone down in the box, so VAR has given the penalty. No need to run over to the silly screen, and it's Messi who will take it, looking to make it 2-2, and he does score. Lionel Messi with the penalty makes it 2-0, and we are now comfortably ahead. Messi, I think, will start most games but not necessarily finish them. He is 35 now, and I've tied him down for a 2-year contract with the option of a further year, because I want him to retire at Barcelona as long as I'm manager. But I also want to make sure that he is at the top level for as long as he's in the side, and that means not overusing him so that his physicals deteriorate quickly. So I will be looking to swap him out for Severo in most games. Severo will be groomed as Messi's successor in that false 9 role as Vigo get the corner in, and Santimina with the header there. Emre Moore put it in, and probably two of their best players, I would say, have just combined to get a goal back against this Barcelona team. Ter Stegen got a hand on it but couldn't keep it out. Disappointing that he wasn't able to keep that out. And it means that we are at risk now, only the 1-goal advantage. Emre Moore loses out. Titi forward to Memphis Depay, across to Aouar. He now charges forward. Griezmann making a run. He's found Griezmann. It's in, and Griezmann does finish. That is the quality of Antoine Griezmann in that advanced forward role. Instead of putting him out on the left wing, get him up front, get him scoring goals, and it will pay dividends. Excellent run by Aouar. I thought Griezmann would be offside, but you'll see the right back down here just playing him on, and then an excellent finish past the keeper. A second excellent finish from him today. We can now look to take Messi off and bring Severo on for a little bit. And then we've got one more substitution to make. I think it will probably be Fati coming on for Depay on that left flank. Or on for Memphis, because Fati not yet played for us this season. We've got a corner, I think, there. I don't know what the keeper did. Some sort of mistake, but Fati now on the pitch. Aouar with the corner in towards Titi. It comes out to Griezmann for the hat-trick, and it's Skriniar or Skriniar, it will take me a while to learn these names, who does get the goal. For the second game in a row, we scored 4 goals, and he has scored in both of those games. Aouar's corner, Titi's header came out to Griezmann, and Skriniar just threw himself onto the ball to make it 4-1, and a very nice finish from him. And now we have 20 minutes left just to see out this match and get another 3 points on the board and start to open up a lead potentially over the likes of Real Madrid, who now have 4 points. Fati on the run, doing it all himself here, Fati. I thought he scored then, but it was just a substitution happening. I think the keeper forced to push that one over. Aouar now with the corner, goes in, but Herrera does claim it. Just 10 minutes left to go. Aouar puts the ball in, it's cleared away. Fran Beltran is tackled. Titi back to Longley, now Roberto. Plays it out wide to Dembele. Roberto again. Plays it back to Skriniar. All the way back to Ter Stegen. Very slow build-up play, but we are drawing them out into our half, which could leave gaps, and Longley's looking for that now. He's found Fati in behind. Puts the ball across. Griezmann gets the hat-trick. Antoine Griezmann, a hat-trick in the first away match of the season. A very nice performance from him, getting the 3 goals, showing that clinical finishing that he has, and we now lead by 5 goals to 1. Good work from Fati as well. Nice for him to get an assist in his first appearance. Whipped it across the 6-yard box. Defender didn't manage to clear it, and we did manage to take the lead for a nice 5-1 potential result, unless there is another goal in here for us somewhere. I'd be surprised as the game runs down, but a very nice start to life as Barcelona manager. 2 big wins, very comfortable, never really in danger. Matvienko only out for 3 days, and we are in a nice position heading into the game against Levante. Now next time we will pick up taking on Real Madrid, which is going to be very big. Jude Bellingham for 200 million. This is a problem. All the Ajax players I would like to sign, they're 100 to 200 million pounds although Sergio Dest is unhappy, he wants a new contract. That is something I'm very interested in, because Dest would fill a hole on the right side of our defence, so I may well put in a little offer for Dest. A few players potentially that we could go in for, but there may well be another transfer before we do get into the next episode, because that is after the transfer window ends. So we'll play these 3 games, which don't look too difficult. In the meantime, all teams towards the bottom half of the table, and then we'll take on Real Madrid at the Bernabeu, so that will be a massive game with the Champions League first game as well to come. So do drop a like if you're looking forward to this series with Barcelona. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel, but until next time, see ya.